Over here I keep a collection of my makeup brushes and art tools. I'm just going to focus on the makeup brushes today, and I'll do the art brushes another day. But yeah, these are all the different jars, and most of these jars I've created myself. This is one that I created about 7 years ago and I hate it, so I really need to just rip all this stuff off on the back and then just make a new one. But this is one of my favourite jars, and this was on my old channel. I showed how to do some marbling with spray paints. And then I also did this with polyfiller, which is one of my favourite ways to decorate jars. Another polyfiller jar. There's this little angry chap, which I like to call Brutus. This one I made out of old CDs, and the reason this CD is here is because it's going to be broken down and turned into this. And I do have a tutorial for this on my old channel, but I'll probably be redoing it at some point, so hopefully you should see a tutorial for that at some point too. Again, also makeup brushes, more makeup brushes, and this I just made with nail varnish. This one was clay and polyfiller, also more makeup brushes, permanent markers, these things are dead handy, and more makeup brushes. And these are a few art brushes, not art brushes, but just watercolour pencils, which I keep out because I'm always forgetting to use them, and I don't like keeping them in a drawer just because I forget that I have them, and they're one of my favourite pencils to use, so I keep them out so that I can remember that I actually have them. Here I keep my notebooks, and this is just for writing for things like Outsider and various other stories that I'm working on at the same time. What I like to do is when I'm writing a story is I like to get a book, and the first thing I'll do is I'll just write down all the kind of different plots ideas. So this one was for the 3rd and 4th book of the Outsider series, and yes, I know exactly how it's going to end, right down to the fine details. I like to write things out in notebooks first. It just helps me flesh out the characters and the ideas, and think things over a few times before I properly write them down, because then you tend to get rid of any of the really crap ideas, and hopefully you'll have some of the better ideas floating up to the top. I also like to decorate them. This one was for a little story called The Imp Keeper, which I don't know if I'm going to do, but it's already plotted out and written anyway, just in case. So once I finish the Outsider series, I should have a good selection of story ideas that I can pick from, and I can just go for it. This is more packaging stuff for when I'm selling things like my paintings or my props. So I keep black tissue, and this is what I like to wrap up all my props and all of the paintings in, just so that they look really nice and presentable. Different parcels to send things in. I also have some spray paint, but I will save that for my art video. Here are a few face casts, and yes, that looks very morbid and creepy, but I like morbid and creepy, so that's okay. More art stuff. Over here I have different things like, hang on, what's the name of this material? This is just a long white, well, blanket really in a way. I've used this as a toga, I've used this as a white backdrop. I have some red mesh. I've used this for my alien tutorial quite a few times, I think. I really love that one just for the lighting, especially if you have this wrapped around you and then you put a light source underneath. The way it reflects the light is so beautiful. So I always keep little things like this, like little spare blankets, little flowers, stuff like that, just because it can make your photos so much more interesting. This is some more prop stuff. Again, mainly stuff that I use for product photography. So I keep seashells, fake moss, coconuts, also fake spiders, because as someone who has arachnophobia, I like to have these around so I can, in theory, try and make myself more used to the shape of a spider and not freak out every time I see the outline on the wall. Here is some of the stuff that I'll use for professional makeup. So if I have a shoot, I'll have some of these. This is a palette with all my blushes in, and my favourite blushes, hands down, are the Sleek blushes. They've just got a lot of variety, and they're super pigmented, and they're affordable. So these are the ones that I'll always take with me on a shoot. Over here I have a few more things that I need to use. This is just an old pot that I decorated a while ago, which to be honest I'm probably going to get rid of and give away to a friend. I have some ear casts, which I've used to make my Vulcan ears and also elf ears as well. I have some light corn syrup, and the reason I have this and why I also have some gelatin is because this is what you need to make fake bogey, and yes, I'm going to be using that in a tutorial soon, so you have to be warned. I have some polyfiller, and this is what I use to cover the jars when I'm about to decorate them. What I want to do is do a few jar tutorials soon which have recreations of famous cave paintings. I want to do one which is in Argentina, which is Cueva de los Manos, And then I think I want to do some Aboriginal art as well. I would really like to do one. This one will be from Argentina, this one will be cave art from Australia, and this one I think will be cave art from France. And then over here I have some art stuff as well. And then I have a 3D pen, which I've been using, but I haven't used in a tutorial yet. So I need to do that soon because I have a few crowns to make. But yes, I should be using that at some point soon. Then here I just have some paper for my printer and then a few cables. I like to keep all my cables tied up so that they're not a jumble and I don't have to undo a spider web every time I need to charge my iPhone or something like that. Back here, this is the case that I use to record this particular camera. And then I just have this little basket because it makes me laugh. And every time I need to organise my desk, what I'll do is I'll just dump everything in this little basket and then sort it out one by one. Back here I have a rolling pin which I use for my artwork, also for fighting off zombies, and I have a wig which I need to adjust sometime soon. Also, this is where I just keep bits and bobs that I need to use soon. I have a lot of CDs which I recently just imported onto my computer, so I'm not going to use them again, but I'm going to be using the back to decorate a few crowns and then also a few things for an ice queen. And you've seen that jar that I have over there which is made out of all the broken CDs. Well, I'm going to be doing something similar with this, and I'm just going to be breaking them up and making myself another one because I don't need the CDs, they were taking up a lot of space and I've just imported them into my computer, so I'm trying to save a little bit of space and getting rid of all that. Then I also have a card mask which I still need to use for showing how to make a face cast without having to actually put any alginate on your face. And then back here I have makeup that I use for my photo shoot. So this is what the palette looks like, and this is a palette which is originally meant for art, but the thing is I don't think that there's really much of a difference between art and makeup. I think the line's fairly blurred. And if it isn't, I like to blur it even more. So this is a pan that is normally used for watercolours, and that's why I think it's so good for makeup, because it has all these mixing trays. So I have all my colours depotted, and what I've done is I have the names of the brand and the colour written on each pan underneath, so that when I run out I know exactly which brand it is and which colour it is. But then it also means that I can mix it over here, which makes it a lot more hygienic. So what I'll do is I'll get a little spatula, I'll take out the colours that I want, I'll put them over here, and then I'll work from this pan, and then when I'm finished I'll just clean that surface, and that way you don't end up double dipping into any pans and getting any disgusting germs or bacteria in your lipstick. And that way it just keeps things clean. It's a lot more practical because I can see exactly what I have right there, and I just like the aesthetic look of it. I like that it looks like an artist's palette because that's what I think makeup should be. It should be art. So I figured why not go one step further and just use art supplies for makeup. Another thing that I really like, it has this little hook on the back. So what you can do is you just put the hook like that. So now it's hooked to my hand like this, and then that way I can have the palette open and I can be working with it, and I don't have to have it down on desk. I'd be working, you know, directly under the lights where the model is. Maybe I need to rush onto the set and quickly touch something up. That way I can bring the palette with me, it will easily hook over my thumb, it's not going to fall, and I can work quickly and hygienically. Over there is the little camera that I normally use for filming. And what I do is I just use a standard lens. To be honest, I don't know very much about cameras. I tend to mess around with things until they work. And this is the Canon that I use. It's the Canon EOS 60D, and then I just use the standard 18 to 55 kit lens. And then over here I have some more makeup stuff. So here I keep all my lipsticks. I like to have them upside down so I can see exactly what I have. So I have a few things from Urban Decay, ELF, MUA. The MUA lipsticks are flipping amazing. I cannot stop raving about them. I have a few OCC lip tars. I also have quite a few of the sleek dupe version of the lip tars. I think they've discontinued these, which was annoying because I actually think that the sleek formulation was slightly better than most of the lip tars. There were a few exceptions. I think this is the colour Lydia from Sleek, and I think it's fantastic, but the problem is it has a tendency to separate, which is really annoying, and I haven't found that with the sleek colours. See, this is my problem. It is my favourite OCC lip tar, but it just does this, and then I have to remix it, and it's not good. I need to use this soon. This lip colour is just so beautiful. I have a few more things from OCC back there as well, some ELF stuff, some Sugar Pill lip paints as well, but this is mainly my lip drawer. I also keep nail accessories in here, which to be honest I rarely use just because my nails at the moment are in dreadful condition, but Thing is, when you play the piano every day, you don't really want to grow your nails long, they just get in the way. And when you're doing a lot of art stuff and getting your hands stuck in clay and terracotta, you just can't be bothered keeping your nails in good condition. So I just fake it and keep fake nails and stick them on top if I need my nails to look anything remotely presentable, or I butcher them and use them for a zombie hand tutorial. But this is just where I keep all my various nail art stuff. And this is what I used to use back when I was doing a lot more nail reviews on YouTube and a lot more blog reviews reviewing colours. I do the colour swatches on these, and then that way I didn't have to do it on my nails. I didn't have to take off a whole load of colours on my nails and wreck them. I just do them on these little fake nails over here, so that way I could have everything nicely swatched, it would look presentable, and I didn't wreck my nails. And then back here what I do is I keep all the old nail art that I created, and these are mainly for the 7 Deadly Sins tutorials. So these were the nails that I created for Wrath. I think this is the one that I did for Sloth. There's more Sloth nails over there. And just a few of the nail designs which I'm a little bit attached to, so I keep them in these little boxes. This one isn't really that interesting, it's just these little cotton pads, and I like taking with these with me on shoots when I'm working. And if I have to put my hand and lean it on the model's face, what I like to do is I like to get this and I like to put my 2 fingers here through there, so that way I'll have it leaning on the model's face, but then I'll be doing this, so I'll have my paintbrush here and then I'll be working on the model's face, but then that way my skin isn't going to mess up the foundation that I've already applied, and then also that way it's just a little bit more comfortable for the model. I don't know about most people, but I really hate it when people physically touch my face, so I think it's a lot more comfortable for the model if there's just something between their face and my hand. So I like to have this just so that I can have it on my hand right here, and that way I can still work on the model's face. I don't wreck her foundation, and it's just a little bit more comfortable for her. So I have those, which I am running out of. I need to stock up on them. Down here we have more hair stuff, which again I don't tend to use that often. I have a few hair curlers which I haven't used in over a year, so maybe it's time to get rid of them and just admit that wigs are better. But I also have some hair colours, so I have white, I have green, I have red, I have blue. I know I have a few other colours knocking around somewhere, but I will find them and put them away. This is my eyeshadow drawer, which is much busier than most of my other drawers. I have a few colours from Urban Decay. I have the, is it the Makeup Forever palette, but this is the dupe version. And I have tried the Makeup Forever palette, and you know what? This one is just as good. It really is, and I like both of these just because this one has more natural colours, and also it's quite good as a zombie palette too. And then this one has all of the primary colours as well. So very good for any kind of theatrical looks, and then because it has all the primary and base colours, you can always mix them and get whatever colour you want exactly, so that's perfect. I have the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics, and to be honest, when Urban Decay sent this to me, I thought, nah, how could it be? I mean, it's just going to be another whole load of neutral colours. I'm in love with this palette. It still does that thing which really annoys me, where they have multiple neutral colours over here. Like, why do I need these 2 colours? They're practically identical. Once they're on my lid, they're not going to look any different. But I really like that they have an off black. I love this colour. I love the grey. It's not a colour that people include in palettes enough. I love this colour as well, and I love that one. And I've used it for quite a few makeup tutorials, which is surprising. I don't normally... Yeah, I didn't think I would like this one very much, but I've been using it a lot. So I have the Urban Decay palette. I have my brow tones, and this one was from Coastal Scents a few years ago, and the thing is amazing. I've used it for eyeshadow, for eyebrows, and I love that it has variety, because not everyone's eyebrows are black. Some people have very pale eyebrows, especially if you're Scandinavian or if you're Swedish and if you're blonde, you tend to have very pale eyebrows. Or if you've got ginger hair, for example, you're going to have eyebrows which has this tone, but it's never catered for. So I really like that this palette has just got a wide range of colours, because if you've got dark hair colours, you're more likely to use the last 2. If you're blonde, or maybe if you have red hair, you're more likely to use these 2. And it's just a good range of colours, and it's never let me down. I've never had anyone whose eyebrows I had to fill in that didn't have a colour which worked perfectly for them in this palette, so I love it. I have the Urban Decay Electric palette, the Sugar Pearl palette as well. A lot of the Sleep palettes looking around back here. I probably need to organise this a little bit better. I don't know why that's in here. This is a contour powder, which should be in my contour and powders drawer, so that's got to leave. But yeah, this is where I keep all my eyeshadows. And then this jar, this drawer's been a little bit ignored lately. If some of you have been following me since the very beginning, you know that I did a lot of nail art, and I don't tend to do that much nail art anymore. I mainly use these guys for art stuff. I use them for the Baby Groot jar, and I've used them for masquerade masks, and that's mainly what I use them for, so I really need to use them up again or just get back into the habit of painting my nails. But yeah, these are all my various little nail varnishes and bits and bobs for nail varnish. And this is the last little thing that I'm going to be showing you. On this side I have art stuff, so I won't be showing you that in this video. I'm going to focus instead on this stuff. We'll start at the top. Over here I have all my stencils, so I have different patterns that I can use. There's these, which I still haven't used. Hang on, where are they? These ones are so beautiful, and I haven't used them yet. And I know exactly what I'm going to use them for, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So I need to use those in a DIY and a makeup tutorial very, very soon. I also keep things like fruit mesh because it's dead handy for creating texture. And you've all seen that trick where you create mermaid scales with things like this. So I always keep things like that in here. So that's where I keep all my stencils. In here I keep prosthetics. So teeth, denture cream, which is actually very good for sticking down teeth. If you've run out of the little gel, to make sure that that custom fits your teeth perfectly. I have some gelatine. I have some of the mixing nozzles for these babies, which are incredible. I've been using these a lot in my latest videos, the Demouflage. You've seen me use this for creating fake veins, for all kinds of things. I'm probably going to be using this in my Element series for Earth. So keep an eye out for that, and they sent me quite a few different colours. So I have the ones which are closest to my skin tone. I think this is in the colour Porcelain, and then I have other colours, and this is the colour Infected. I have a few things for creating beauty spots, warts, moles, veins, all that good stuff. So I keep those back here, and then I keep the nozzles in these little tins just so that they don't rattle around and make an absolute mess. In here I keep face paints, and this is a spray paint just because I'm really lazy, and I was planning to do a Nebula and Gamora look, but I didn't get around to it. I do still need to do it, so I still have the paint. And what I really like about this one is you can just spray it on. I also have a massive collection of the Grima face paints, which are very, very good. I think they're incredibly overlooked. A lot of people tend to go for the fancier brands. These look simpler, but I also like the way they're packaged. I like the way they can just depot into smaller sizes, which like this, and then they can fit onto a palette, and they're affordable. I also really like the Snazaroo ones, and these are from Convent Garden. I can't remember the name of the brand. Let me see, Funny Foxes, and this one's the colour Silver. I have gold. I think I have grey back there. These are beautiful. The Krylon Aquacolor colours are fantastic. I love those as well. So that is where I keep all my face paints. In here I keep all my art brush stuff, and then also some stencil stuff. This is actually for cupcakes, but it's really good if you just want to use it as a stencil instead. I have some face lace, which I still need to use, but I'm probably going to save that for a makeup tutorial or for a music video when I finally get around to filming the next few songs that I have written. I've had these songs written for the last year, and I just need to get into the studio and record them already, but I'm saving this for one of the songs that I wrote. And then in here I keep all my airbrush stuff. In here is bits and bobs, so eyeshadows, texturing pads, glue, and you've seen me use this to cover up my eyebrows, gold paint, and this one's cosmetic gold paint, little beauty blenders, these ones are from Elf, then different powder puffs, more texture pads, sharpeners as well, a lot of lash glue, mirrors too, well, as the drawer says, it's just bits and bobs. In here I keep some of my OCC creams, if they would stop rattling around. And the annoying thing is I'm pretty sure that OCC has discontinued these, and they've certainly stopped selling them in this kind of packaging, which I thought was fantastic. The new packaging comes in this little square type thing, it's also smaller, and I just love these because I could see exactly what I had in my kit. And what I like about them is I can stack them up like this, and I can see exactly what colour's in there. It's very simple. I also like the shape of these things. I love this product, and I'm really sad that they discontinued it. So I need to use these up all soon before they expire. But this is where I keep my OCC little pots. Now in here what I do is I keep all my loose pigments. So I have a lot of NYX stuff, Sugar Pill, and annoyingly I lost my favourite Sugar Pill eyeshadow, which was Lumai. And if any of you have been following Lumai, you know that that's one of the things that actually gave us the idea for the name. Yeah, anyway, I lost my favourite Sugar Pill eyeshadow, so I really need to pick that one up again. But there's a lot of OCC colours, which again I need to start using up soon. I have a few of the what are they called? Barry M Dazzle Dust before they discontinued them. I don't know what it is with brands and discontinuing my favourite products. I flippin' love these. And I haven't been using them just because I'm scared of using them up and then not having them left anymore, which is really daft. It's like having your favourite pair of shoes and never wearing them. But anyway, I do need to start using them up, even though I know Barry M aren't really going to start selling them again anytime soon. So this is where I keep all my loose eyeshadows, and then a few pressed eyeshadows, but mainly the NYX ones. In here I keep all the things like contacts and blushes. The Milani blushes are fantastic. I flippin' love them. They're incredible. I have one of these colours in my own personal kit. I think I have a dupe version of this, which I keep in my own personal makeup stash. But they're beautiful. For blushes, other than the sleek blushes, I would highly recommend these. I wouldn't say they're as pigmented. They're still crazy pigmented. I'd say they're a 9 out of 10, and then sleek is just level 10 pigmentation. But then for highlighters, I really like the MUA highlighters. They're fantastic. And I also like this one from Claire's, which is also a very, very beautiful highlighter. The e.l.f. HD definition powder, some more contact lenses, and then contact fluid as well. Although I'm pretty sure I have more contact fluid back there. So that's that drawer. And then in here I keep all my special effects stuff. What I try and do with the smaller things is I keep them in little cardboard boxes, just so they don't rattle around, and then if they spill they'll only make a mess in these little squares and they won't make a mess all over the drawer. So I have some thick blood. I think this was grease. Grease. I have a bruise wheel, the death wheel, the cut wheel. This one is from Dermaflage, and what I really liked about this is it's a texture pad, and what it is it is exactly what the name implies. If I can open it. So this is what it is, and what it is a little pad, and I don't know if you can see, but there's texture all over it which mimics the skin, so it's fantastic if you have something like scar wax and you don't want it to look artificially smooth and you want to texture it to make it look like skin. This stuff is a lifesaver. It's also really easy to clean. I also have some Bond Off, some Illustrator Activator. I have Sculpt Gel back there, which you know I really love. And then a few more special effects things. I have some tooth enamel, more tooth enamel, some wrinkle stipple, some makeup activator, pustule filler, blister gel, and rigid collodion. So that's what I keep in this drawer. And then in here I keep special effects stuff like palettes. So I can't speak today, palettes. So my alcohol activated makeup is in there. In here I just keep my regular makeup palette, and this is my grease paint. And this is my grease paint palette. And then I keep a few other stainless steel palettes over here for mixing. Ben Nye Prosthetic adhesive. This one's Ben Nye ash powder. Grima's blood paste. Back there I have some simulated bone wax, and then Meron blood, sweat and tears. So to be perfectly honest, instead of getting that, what you can use is just good old-fashioned glycerin, because that is exactly what that is. It's literally the only ingredient on the back. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you. There we go. Contains glycerin. So you don't even need to buy this. You can quite literally just go down to Asda or Tesco's, pick up glycerin, and you have the same stuff. But I didn't know that before I bought that, so I have that. I'm going to use them up, and then I'm just going to keep going to the kitchen cupboard every time I need to simulate blood, sweat or tears. This one is empty apart from a few bits and bobs. This is where I keep all my wig stuff, so crepe hair. This is something that I'm going to be testing out to see if it works for crepe hair as well. A few of the little accessories for ventilating, which I still need to get my head around, but I will do it. I will get there one day. eye dusts and eyeshadows, and these are my collection of the Barry M eyeshadows. And if you're wondering what these little things are, what I tend to do so that I know, because I get a lot of makeup sent to me, the easiest way for me to remember exactly what was sent to me and what was bought with my own money is what I do is I just make a little nail varnish mark at the bottom here. If it gets sent to me, what I do is I put a little mark. It can be any colour, it could be black, yellow, red, green, but if I see a little nail varnish mark like this, I know that it was sent to me, and then that way I don't have to keep a massive inventory somewhere and try and remember everything which was sent to me, because it's just impossible. And that way I remember exactly what is sent to me, what isn't, and then that way it makes it very easy for me to list things in the description box and say this was sent to me, this I bought myself. It just makes my life easier. In here I keep things like eyeliners, mascaras, all that good stuff. Also another empty drawer. And then in here I just keep face charts, and then I keep a Blush Professional palette, and that is what I use to paint on the face charts, so that way I don't have to use any of the other makeup. I really like using this palette for painting on the face charts because it has all the colours there, and it's just really nice. It's much easier to just take out one palette than have to empty out all my drawers to try and find the exact one, when I could just use these and mix the colours that I want to do the designs on the face charts. And before I forget, what I have down here is I have different coloured paper, and you saw me mention earlier that I use different coloured paper to change the colour of the lights. Well, that is what I do, and that is where I store it. So that's all stored down here, so it's nice and upright and it doesn't get completely folded and bent. So that is my room tour. I hope you liked it. I will be doing a video separately for all my different art stuff and how I store my artwork. And papers and paints and all that good stuff, but today I just wanted to keep it to the studio stuff, so I hope you like it, and I will have a new video for you soon.